Hello, and welcome to the Think Moisturizer Think Ajanta podcast series coming live to you from Dermacon 2026 Bangalore. We are on day 2 today, and we are going to get yet another set of dermatologists who are going to decode some of the daily, everyday skincare concerns that we face very simply, scientifically, and without any hype. Today, we are going to focus on something very important but yet neglected, that is skin dryness and moisturization. Everyone at some point in time experiences skin dryness, and there are so many misconceptions, so many trends going around everywhere, and we are sometimes confused not because of lack of information, maybe sometimes also because of over information that is running all over the internet. Hi, I'm Prasha Kamli, and I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Sujay with us in this series. She's a consultant dermatologist at Bangalore. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, we have some really interesting but everyday skincare concern issues kind of questions for you, which our audience would like to know and get clarity on, because we need experts like you to decode so many trends and so many misinformation that goes around all over it. Okay, so these are very simple questions, but I think there is a lot of misinformation around these simple things. So, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, great. So, my first question to you is that from your clinical practice and experience, what are the early signs to tell if someone's skin barrier is weakening? So, I'm sure you see patients, and you've been seeing patients for a very long time, like right from their adulthood to when they have come in their 30s or their 40s. So, from your experience, what do you think is those simple signs and symptoms that one should also observe in their skin, whether their barrier is weakening?
See, first of all, whenever they wash their face, they feel their skin is getting tighter, yeah, and drier, sometimes flaky. So these are the initial symptoms where it tells them that their skin is getting dry.
Okay,
Okay, so
and it is because of the barrier loss.
yeah, that is basically because of the loss of the barrier function, and especially in the kids, infants, with the barrier function is not fully developed. So in them, we see a lot of dryness, irritation happening. And in adults, the first sign what they can see is as soon as they wash their face, they feel some dryness, tightness in their skin.
That is
So
not
that
there
is-
when you're a teenage. I think it
Yeah.
eventually.
Yes, see, teenage people, they have a lot of oily skin, especially on the face. The skin gets oily, but on hands and legs, especially on hands and legs, there is less number of sebaceous glands. So these are the areas which are prone for dryness, and you start seeing the flakes as soon as you take bath. So these are the initial signs which they need to observe.
So anyone who starts experiencing that after washing face, they feel a little more tightness in their skin. They should know that there's a damage
Yes.
that has begun,
Yes.
and they should use a moisturizer to kind
Yeah,
of.
definitely. Those people can use these gentle face cleanser followed by the application of a moisturizer. So cleansers, the gentle cleansers, they retain the moisture in the skin.
So, ma'am, picking up from what you just said, that you feel your skin becomes tighter. Is that anything got to do with your skin tightening or skin aging?
It's not exactly because of the aging. See, here what happens is because of the barrier function is disrupted, the moisture it goes away from the skin.
Correct.
So that when the moisture is not there, you feel your skin is a little tight and flaky.
Correct.
These are the symptoms which they can notice.
So that has got nothing to do with aging as such.
With aging, what happens is the number of sebaceous glands can come down. So
Oh,
that can
okay.
contribute to the dryness.
So the glands that you already have also can come down.
They get them. In fact, the activity of the gland can come
Activity
down.
can come.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not the number of glands, but the activity
Glands
of the
will
gland.
still remain, but the function reduces.
Yeah.
Okay. And in that case, I wanted to understand that somebody who has a oily skin all throughout their life, like their skin is only like that. Like they have a lot of oil secretion on their face. Is it that they tend to have a dry skin issues little lesser than somebody who has a normal skin, or they pick up dry skin issues a little later in their life? Is that something like that? And do
yeah.
they need to use a moisturizer in the first place?
Okay. See, first of all, what happens is the oiliness usually starts with puberty. Okay, with hormonal changes. So even in such people, moisturizer is needed. Okay, because we need hydration for the
Correct.
skin.
Correct.
So you have these hydrating creams which do not make the skin look oily.
Correct.
Okay, they can hydrate the skin.
So you
At
have a
the
little
same time,
magnifying effect.
yes. At the same time, they don't make the skin look oily. Maybe
Correct.
such kind of moisturizers can be used
By the oily skin.
with the oily skin people. But with age, like once all the hormones settle down, some amount of oil secretion reduces, then they might feel dry
There is a need
also.
for- They,
Yeah.
they might feel a need for a balanced moisturizer.
Yeah, a different kind of moisturizer they will have to
Correct.
choose.
And ma'am, nowadays, if you see, there first of all, there's so many products that come in the market, right? And to promote those products, there are so many influencers who speak so much about these products very, I would say, in a very high manner. And what we come across very regularly is about the retinols and the AHAs and the PHAs. And I think that has become part of everyday routine of so many people, right? So my question to you, one is, does one always need a retinol? Or because there's so much, there's so much craze for, I would say, glowing bright skin. You can have a glowing darker skin also, but there's a craze for a glowing brighter skin, which is why I'm sure people are using so many retinols and all that. And if that has become part of their daily routine, uh, is there a need for them to one use the moisturizer along with these active ingredients, and second, can they mix any other product with the moisturizer? Is my question, because typically what happens is I feel that even me as a person who watches so many things on internet, I come across so many 10-day routine steps and 15-day routine steps. So if I have to follow 15 products in a day, I don't have that kind of time. I might end up mixing two things together and applying. Is it recommended or is it going to damage further?
See, one thing, these AHA, PHA, retinols, they are all active agents, they are all sensitizing agents also.
So they make your skin sensitive.
They make the skin sensitive.
Oh,
So when you are using all these AHA, BHA, retinol creams, you have to use moisturizers and sunscreens. That's very much important. See, retinol can act as an anti-aging agent, but it has an exfoliative property. So it makes your skin.
so it is
It
exfoliating
peels off the
peels
skin
off the skin.
and it will make your skin sensitive. AHA, BHA is also, they can make your skin bright, at the same time they exfoliate your skin, they make your skin sensitive. So moisturizers or sunscreens are
So
very much
basically,
essential.
anyone who is promoting these products, they might not tell you the complete truth. Yes, the products may have some brightening effect on your skin, but it is also removing some layers of your skin, and which might make your skin more sensitive. So I think, from what I understand from whatever you're saying, is that it is always a best practice to go and take, even if you like some product and you want to use that product, I think you should consult a dermatologist to guide you properly on whether or not this product is required on your skin, and even if you do, then what is the frequency and how you should be using the product.
See, one more thing what we notice in our practice, even teenagers, they want to use retinol. It is an anti-aging and it's not needed by them.
My God.
So you have to carefully choose and decide what to use. And in fact, you can take a expert opinion before starting any of these products.
Correct. So coming to that, I have something, a related question to it, is that today we see that skincare advice is spreading faster than the scientific evidence that actually should support the advice. So in all this gamut, of course in the digital world that we live, what do you think is your role as a dermatologist, and how do you think we should be able to bridge the gap between this advice and the evidence that should follow together? Can we do something about it?
See, one thing is people should know that before starting any product on their skin, they should take a expert opinion.
Absolutely.
So dermatologists are experts in
Yeah.
skincare,
Yeah.
so they should take a
Correct.
dermatologist opinion before starting any product.
Any product.
So that can solve all the problems.
Yeah, I think if you need any advice, the help will begin from you. You are the one who's the custodian of your whole skin. So before starting anything on your face, I think if you need to really have a good healthy skin, you can only help yourself by asking the right person about the advice rather than relying on so much information that spreads over all over the internet. It might not really be the right thing for you. Every skin needs a different kind of care, and I think the experts are the right person to guide you on that. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining in this session. I think it was really insightful. There were so many things that we didn't know about skin dryness, and ma'am has really put some interesting insight on these things. Thank you so much for joining. You are live from Dhamacon 2026. We are in Bangalore. Stay tuned for more such interesting topics and news. Thank you so much.
Thank you.